Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Protest on Spanish Town Road over Flexiwork arrangement. Political analysts say JLP is on edge. Political analyst says JLP still has edge over PNP despite recent polls. And later in sports, Reggae Boys head coach commends team for first performance. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here are the details. Employees at Caribbean Products Limited on Spanish Town Road staged a protest today over the implementation of a Flexiwork arrangement. Island Supervisor at the National Workers Union, Kurt Fletcher, says the arrangement, which began this morning, was put in place despite objections from employees and union.
Unfortunate because since the enactment of the Act back in 2014, it is well known that any arrangement that will see the work being flexi must be agreed on between employers and employees, and by extension their representative, which is the union, National Workers Union in this case. What has happened is that over the last few months, we've been having the discussions with the company with a view to implementing the Flexiwork arrangement, but to date there has been no agreement.
Mr. Fletcher also said last week the union met with the delegates and management to resolve the issue.
And the proposal that was put forward by the management at that time was rejected by the workers, having put it to a vote. The company insisted that they wanted to go and have this discussion with their workers, which they have a right to do. And they went there on Tuesday. They were rejected again by the workers. And the workers left there with the impression, based on the utterances of management, that they would resume discussions with the union in order to see if they could hash out an agreement for the Flexiwork arrangement.
Caribbean Products is a company under the separate group. On the heels of the findings of the PNP-commissioned Don Anderson polls, one political commentator says the governing Jamaica Labour Party still has the edge. He was speaking on TVJ Smile Jamaica this morning. According to the poll, 30.2% of Jamaicans would vote for the People's National Party, while 25% would vote for the Jamaica Labour Party if an election is called. But for political commentator Dr. Paul Ashley, there's a bigger concern. The majority of eligible voters are still not voting.
If the poll says that 47.6% does not believe that the JLP deserves another term, and only 31.6%. Therefore, the PNP is not being attractive to all the people that are turned off of the JLP. It seems to me that there may be a problem, even though the election has not started, the campaign has not started yet. There may be a problem in that people who are turned off with the JLP are not attracted to the PNP and therefore will just stay at home and don't vote.
He says despite the PNP lead in the poll, the JLP still has the edge. Dr. Ashley argues it is still early days and the campaign machinery has not kicked into full swing.
Do I see that the JLP has seemingly not taken the option of commissioning a national poll by, say, Blue Dot, right? It seems to me that the JLP has launched a campaign of flashy images reminding the electorate of the good it has done in the past. I don't know if that will be successful, but it can and possibly will launch a national poll sometime in the future at a time convenient to it.
Dr. Ashley says it's not an appropriate time for the JLP to have a national poll. He says the focus needs to be placed elsewhere.
Even though I must tell you that a national poll is only part of the polling done by political parties. The most important poll is the constituency polls, because the candidate is not too concerned if the party is winning and he is losing. You see, what you want to know is exactly how your constituency going.
And
national polls come and go. National polls can be wrong. National polls can be manipulated. In fact, The saying is that a poll is a snapshot in time, but everybody knows that photos can be doctored.
We will wait and see the views of transport operators in Falmouth, Trelawney on whether the newly constructed transport centre will help improve order in the town. The mayor says construction of the facility is almost complete and it will soon be opened.
Workmen putting the finishing touches on the new transport centre in Falmouth, Trelawney. Mayor Colin Gager says work is currently being done on the bus sheds inside the centre and the facility will be ready to be opened in another month.
We have just finished refurbishing the toilet facility that is now up and running. We are now looking at the lighting, where we are looking at solar lighting. So those solar lighting is now in the process of being installed as we speak. Once that is ready, we are working closely with the police, we are working closely with Transport Authority, and we will get this park up and running.
Now, in a tourist town that's booming with business, traffic congestion has been a long-standing issue in Falmouth. The mayor says the new transport centre should be the solution to that and the general issue of maintaining order in the Trelawney capital.
It will help to relieve us of some of the parking space that is used up. You can go down there and you can park. You can free up some space so that we have the free flow of traffic throughout the town. Market Street will remain a one-way. Seaboard Street will be a one-way. Top Street will be a two-way.
The transport operators in Falmouth declined to speak on the issue, saying they'll wait until the facility is opened first. But TVJ News spoke with a commuter in Montego Bay, St. James.
On the road, you know, so boy, them put it on a King Street on the corner, and run it up on the corner enough time, yeah, we get load. Because man, we just come on and just stop up on the front of Duke Street and load and gone. We make a little difference, yes, but we know if you say everything the whole night park one time, in the jam up.
Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
As part of the country's digital switchover, the Ministry of Education has been encouraging teachers to embrace the use of artificial intelligence in the classroom. Some schools have already been making plans to adapt to this new technology come September. Titchfield High School in Portland recently benefited from a smartboard interactive panel. It's designed to enhance the learning experience of students at the grade 10 level and beyond who are studying the sciences. Minister of Energy and Science, Darrell Vaz, says the smartboard shows the importance of public-private partnerships.
We look forward to more schools being rolled out. And again, congratulations to Creative Tech and Comedian, because, as I always say, there is nothing better to build Jamaica than a PPP, public-private partnership. That is what will bring us to where we need to get to in the shortest possible time.
And businessman Trevor Heaven is encouraging Jamaicans to embrace artificial intelligence, but cautioned that regulations are necessary. He was the guest speaker at a Rotary Club of Christiana installation ceremony in Christiana, Manchester. More in this report. AI is the ability of a computer or computer-controlled robot to perform tasks commonly undertaken by humans. Businessman Trevor Heaven says AI is already evident in the technology we use daily, especially since the COVID-19 pandemic.
I have a truck, my truck that I drive. You could take home that I have outside here. Full of AI. It has lane departure feature, it has speed control, it has the ability to maintain a safe distance between any obstacle in front of me. It can self-accelerate and decelerate. I'm driving along and I'm coming to a car and it slows down. Slows down, it never, and maintain a distance between me and the car in front of me.
Mr. Heaven went further to suggest that it will become useful for politicians who need important data on voting habits and support of their constituents.
To determine who among the members of the constituency is likely to donate to his campaign? Right? And who is also likely to vote at the time of election? So with that information, you can be more focused on the person you need to attend to in campaigning.
But Mr. Heaven cautions that AI should not be used at the expense of developing critical thinking and the ability to grasp important concepts in our educational institutions. He says regulations created by AI must be disclosed.
As AI develops, it is critical and crucial to make sure that it is utilized morally and doesn't hurt human beings. This involves ensuring that AI systems are impartial and fair. Systems created by AI, by people using artificial intelligence, must be fair, must be impartial, safeguarding people's privacy, preventing AI from replacing operations without offering alternative to work.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. The police are searching for a St. Andrew couple who's been missing since June 24. They are 19-year-old Shanique Salmon and Justin Graham, 28. They were last seen leaving their home in Norbrook. Mr. Graham was wearing a red shirt, blue jeans pants and black slippers, while Miss Salmon was wearing a gray dress and black slippers. Anyone with information can contact the Hunts Bay Police at 876-923-7111 or the nearest police station. It's now time for the Business Minute.
The Bank of Jamaica says it expects inflation to continue above its target range. May's inflation reading showed prices going up by 6.1%, just outside the BOJ's 4 to 6% target range. The Central Bank's Monetary Policy Committee says despite positive economic signs, the cost of goods will likely exceed the range for June up to the September 2023 quarter. This increase is expected to be driven by higher telephone and internet rates, the national minimum wage increase, seasonally higher agricultural prices, as well as pending increases in other regulated prices such as transport. Inflation is, however, expected to slow to the BOJ's target by the December 2023 quarter. On the international scene, police in Washington, D.C. are looking for the people who attacked several businesses with explosives on Sunday. This happened in the northeast section of the city. Investigators say some set off an explosion outside an ATM of Truist Bank. Then, 6 minutes later, another explosive device went off outside a Nike store. And then about 10 minutes later, someone tossed a Molotov cocktail at a Safeway store. Police say the explosions blew out windows at each of the businesses. No one was hurt. A surveillance camera caught images of one of the suspects and the getaway car. Investigators say they do not believe those involved were targeting people, but instead the businesses themselves. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Hal Shane Burke.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, as the region emerges from the COVID-19 pandemic, Dr. Jarbas Barbosa, head of the Pan American Health Organization, is calling on CARICOM countries to use the chance to restore lost public health gains. He asserts that the time is now for the region to strengthen its health system's resilience. Addressing PAHO's 172nd session of Executive Committee, the PAHO head also pointed to the need to amend information and data collection systems for health in order to better respond to regional health emergencies. On the international scene, the Israeli army launched a massive military operation on the Jenin camp in the northwest West Bank, launching multiple airstrikes. Video published on social media showed smoke rising from a residential block. The operation involved a terrorist attack with the Jenin battalions, a military unit involving Armenians from Fatah, Hamas and Islamic Jihad, claiming to be targeting the occupiers. The Israeli military killed at least 6 6 Palestinians during the raid, marking the first time it has used attack helicopters in the West Bank. The attack also wounded Israeli soldiers and police officers. And concern is growing about a rapid-moving wildfire that has already damaged several homes and is threatening more structures in Washington state. The fire started Sunday morning in Skamania County, an area about 230 miles south of Seattle. The county has ordered residents to evacuate. It's unclear what started the fire. And those are the top regional and international stories. I'm Carrie Simpson.
Thank you, Carrie. And we head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report with Jordan Fort.